Welcome back here to Gimme 10. Of course, you can always watch it on YouTube and listen to it on Spotify. We encourage you to check out our Twitter as well, where we're always tweeting stuff about college basketball and especially the A10 on there. But anyway, to our next topic. Fordham, over the past few weeks, they've had the record, but their non-conference schedule wasn't really helping them out. And, we've kind of questioned it, but I think it's time that we start to ask the question, is Fordham finally for real? I'm going to let Barrett start with this one. Is Fordham finally for real in your opinion? We'll go Barrett, Nart, me.
I mean, I think they might be for real. I mean, they beat Davidson in a close game, which, it's not terrible to lose to beat Davidson in a close game, but a guy who's really been stepping up for them is Darius Quisenberry. If he keeps up with these numbers, I doubt it, but he could have a case for player of the year in the conference if they keep winning. When's the last time Fordham's been insanely good? I can't remember.
They haven't won over 20 games since 91.
Yeah, but their schedule, their schedule's pretty bad. I'm just looking at it here. They barely beat University of Vermont. So
they barely beat Harvard.
Got blown out by an Arkansas team that's not looking good right now. That was early in the season, but Arkansas was looking elite back then. But
was Arkansas ranked sixth?
Yeah, they were ranked 10th at that time.
The Holy Cross win doesn't really ideally look the greatest. I think they have deserved the title for real this year, but they're gonna have to prove it again. Dayton.
They've been hot lately, but they had a poor start to the conference in a way, especially with those losses to Dayton. But Nart, I'm gonna let you talk for a little bit.
Real quick, I have a question. What is VMI? They play
Virginia Military Institute.
Well, of course, I think this team very early on started slow. They're kind of a really bad non-conference schedule. They only really played one team that could, you'd say they probably only played one team that is going to make it to March. Is Harvard the leader in the Ivy League? I don't know who's leading the Ivy League, but
I don't know if they're leading the Ivy League.
Besides that, I think they've only played one or possibly two teams that's going to make it.
They're in second to last
into March. But moving on, they've won 7 of the last 8. They've picked up a couple of crucial wins. They got the win over Davidson. They got the win UMass. They did get that Richmond loss, but they beat St. Louis. I think they're showing up in the direction that they want to play, especially at the right points in the season. And I'm a big proponent of that, especially with how late we are in the season. A win is a win, regardless of how you get it. And I think that really at this point, we kind of know no one's going to get an at-large bid from this conference. So I think it just helps getting momentum in towards the conference tournament. And I think that they're getting there. I think that these next couple of weeks before we start the conference tournament, if they can collect this win streak and continue it on, they might be able to make a run in the conference tournament. I think it's all about momentum at this point in the season and collecting wins. You don't want to be falling down, even though you do have a chance to kind of get yourself in by a miracle in your conference tournament. You don't want to be trending down. I think they're trending up, and it's never a wrong thing this late into the season.
Yeah, but like Nart said, I think the momentum really is big come this time of March. Because, when's the last time the team just has a terrible February and just goes on to win March Madness? It's a decently good team. That's never. It's always.
What are we thinking? UConn in 2011.
Yeah, I would say so. But last year, we saw North Carolina catch fire, and they just didn't slow down. It's.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about that later today, so I won't mention it that much. But they might be hinting at doing it again. They just blew out Clemson, but let's stick to the topic here, Jack.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Yeah, I agree with Barrett, with Darius Quisenberry and what Nart said as well. But, looking back to that St. Louis game, and again, we'll talk about them later as well. It was very much like the Dayton game against St. Louis. Fordham shut him down defensively, and they shut down Yuri Collins, and once they shut him down, he got benched, and he got benched against Dayton too for a little bit, just because he wasn't doing much. And they started that press, and St. Louis just couldn't get anything going. And they really took advantage of it, and they went out there and they just really took control of that game. They do have some bad conference losses, but then again, none of that really matters. Who you lose to doesn't really matter at this point. For I think any A10 team, I mean, you want to win every game so you can get the seeding, but I just don't think who you lose to matters as much anymore, because they're all just playing for the conference tournament at this point, and you're just trying to earn yourself the easiest path to win the conference tournament so you can make the tournament. Otherwise, I think you do have maybe 2 or 3 NIT teams from the A10, but otherwise, I think you're really just playing for the conference tournament. I think Fordham really has the potential to win this conference if they catch fire, but we have seen them struggle against certain teams, and even just Davidson's been one of those teams. They barely beat them this time. They lost by 14 the last time, only put up 43. And none of their wins besides the St. Louis one have really been pretty, and their losses have not been good either. I mean, blown out by Dayton at home, can't let that happen. But anyway, that being said, we're gonna take another quick break here. You're watching Gimme 10 either on YouTube or Spotify. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back here after the break. Welcome back here to Gimme 10. We're on topic number 3 of the show. Right now, we'll be recapping Dayton's strong week. That's really pushed them to the second space in the standings with wins over VCU and St. Louis. We'll recap those wins and talk about where we see Dayton moving forward. Nart, I'm going to have you start this one. Switch it up a little bit. Barrett, you can go second, and I'll go third.
Yeah, I think Dayton's kind of been on a roller coaster of the season. They're ranked, I believe, 24th in the AP poll for this first couple starts of the week. Had a rough non-conference, dealt with some injuries, and then they were never going to be the worst team in the A10, but they kind of were stuck in the midst, kind of got back up, and then this week happened, and with the shift of other teams, they've kind of cemented themselves as a team that might be the contender and might be the team to take the bid. And I think that win over VCU is a giant momentum winner. If you can go on the road and get a win this late into anywhere, especially a team that's leading your conference, I think that's massive. I think that St. Louis dominant win was a good back-to-back, and now I think you have 2 straight. You get kind of hopefully a breather against Loyola. The last time they played, it was a 4-point game. But I think that they need to kind of just keep going. I'm not going to say that they have to win out, but they should definitely look to beat Loyola for the momentum to continue over. You don't want to have a flat tire when you're driving on the highway to the conference championship. And I think that they're speeding it up, and I think they're looking good. And I think Anthony Grant has the Flyers kind of blossoming at the right point.
I agree with you on that. And also, I mean, yeah, they're getting these wins. I mean,
but Barrett, you were at the St. Louis game.
Exactly. I mean, I just want to point an X factor out. Tamani Kamara has been playing so good these last few games. And the thing is
double machine.
Up until this point of the season, not many people realize Dayton has not been a healthy team. I mean, it just hasn't been the case. I mean, Brady Ewell was playing rotation minutes at the beginning of the year. I mean, I feel like now that we're finally healthy, I think it's time to make a push. I mean, because Dayton is the best team in the A10 when healthy.
Yeah. One thing I've really seen, I think they're the most talented in the A10 when they're healthy. But I really watching this Dayton team, I'd like to see Anthony Grant give Kobe Bray maximum load minutes. I think he's came in and played a huge role for this team, knocking down shots when people are off. He has actually done a better job at helping break press this year, because they've struggled at that sometimes, especially late in the game. And I think they really just need to work on their situational game handling late in the game. Kamara, honestly, the way he's been playing is A10 player of the year caliber. I mean, it's not going to happen probably, but he's been, just look at these stats the past few games and look at how he's been playing. I mean, he's been carrying. And I think without him playing like this, I don't think they would have won these past few games. You can look at Deron Holmes and say, well, he hasn't been producing offensively like he should be, over the past few weeks. But defensively, he has still been making a huge impact and, playing really good. And overall, a strong road win at VCU and a really, really good home win in the Barron Cup against St. Louis. But I really, like Nart said, this is a bad Loyola team they're playing. They should win, but it's going to be tough on the road, as it always is in the A10. I think they can win though. And one game that I would give them as a loss possibly is the one it's at St. Louis towards the end of the season. I think that's going to be a tough game because of the rivalry.
Last game of the season.
Yeah. It's tough. Dayton always has problems there. We even saw the best Dayton team of all time have problems there. Barely won that one. So, it should be fun. Anything else from you guys on this topic?
Nothing.
Oh.
All right. With that being said, we will head to another break. This is Gimme 10. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back here to Gimme 10. Next topic, who will end up last in the A10? For this one, Barrett, you can start first, then Nart, then me.
I feel like Loyola's the pretty obvious answer here, but I'm actually going to say that Massachusetts will finish last because Loyola probably has 2 wins in these last 5 games, Rhode Island and LaSalle. And then you go back over to Massachusetts and their schedule, it's all right. They got to play they got to play at Rhode Island, which is probably a win for them. Versus Dayton at home, they're not beating Dayton. I don't think. I hope not. But it's either going to be Loyola or I'm going to take Massachusetts. UMass.
Art?
I'm gonna take Loyola. They haven't been good really at all this year. They've been struggling since the non-conference to the conference, in and out. I don't think that they're anything special. I think that they have Dayton. We talked about Fordham. That's 2 tough games. St. Louis, that's another tough game. And then Rhode Island and LaSalle. I think they could probably win one of those last 2, but you're looking at 1-4 record at the end. So I think that there's probably, one out of 5 in the end here. So I think there's no way they don't finish last. I just think that they're not there yet when it comes to competing the A10. And I question whether what conference was that, the Ohio River that they left?
Ohio Valley.
Ohio Valley. I question
Missouri Valley.
Missouri Valley. If it was the right move for them to leave that conference, especially with the departing of their former coach, I'm blanking on his name, who got them the success. They now have Denzel Valentine's brother. They're struggling in the A10, and I think they're going to probably finish last year. I just don't know if the A10 is the right fit for them, even too, just with the talent gap that it pretty much appears to be there when you look at Loyola compared to everyone else in the conference, probably besides UMass.
Yeah, the A10 is a tough conference. I just don't. I think. It's tough. UMass is a team that's just been awful the past few games. They actually had a successful non-conference campaign. I think they went 9-3, which is good for their standards, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a head coach in Frank Martin that, he's got a good history as a coach, maybe, but he's just done everything I guess he can to diminish the culture in his program. after this past loss, saying that his players don't care about anything except for social media. Maybe that's the case, but maybe you shouldn't say that out loud. And I don't think it helps the culture. So I think, but
Seems like a locker room talk.
Yeah,
not
like Loyola said,
social media talk.
Yeah, like Nart said though, I just don't see Loyola winning out any of these past few games. But the big one will be UMass versus Loyola. At UMass is at home on Tuesday. It'll be the Toilet Bowl, and
battle of shit. Who will lose? Who will win? No one watching. I'll tell you that for sure. No one watching. No one win. Your eyes will not be win.
I got UMass at home.
Save yourself the 3 hours. Save yourself the 3 hours of your life.
I got Loyola finishing last. I mean, they're just awful. Bad team. And one thing real quick before we go to the break. Loyola Chicago, since they've joined the A10, it's really reminded me of when George Mason joined. They had George Mason before they joined. They were coming off NCAA tournament Final Four with Jim Larinaga, who's currently at Miami now. And then they joined, and then they just went to crap. And now, it's kind of a dead end program with Kim English right now. And then you look at over at and by the way, shout out Sully on Twitter. I was listening to your show, and you said that, and I kind of thought of it, and it's like, yeah. And then you got Loyola Chicago's coming off a Final Four appearance a few years ago with Porter Moser, who just left, and now the program's just kind of going to crap. Anyway, quick break.
Can I add something real quickly with what I think about George Mason and Loyola? I think those type of schools, they need a propelling, easier conference schedule to get in and then build momentum, because I think it's just too hard for them to get wins in these bigger conferences with a lot of talents and then projectively make a run.
That's kind of what we saw at Dayton. I mean, their schedule is pretty tough here. I mean,
yeah,
but I understand what you're saying. Teams like it's not like Loyola's going out there. It's not like they're going to play BYU, Kansas, and whoever. I mean,
and we've seen Dayton especially has had the ability to play some pretty well-ranked teams earlier in the year. And I don't think, especially for like George Mason or Loyola of Chicago, now that we're seeing, no one's going to give them the time today. They're never going to play Kansas. And I think that just ultimately even hurts them more, especially being in a conference that realistically, I don't know if they have very well of a chance to win for the next couple of years.
Well, this will send us to a break. Coming up next, we have a very competitive, tricky topic, and we'll get to that right after the break. This is Gimme 10 podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome back to Gimme 10 here. Next up, we have who will end up winning the A10. Barrett and Art, me.
All right.
We're just gonna do postseason tournament predictions, by the way.
Yeah, so I do think that VCU will win the regular season. I think they'll take the regular season title by a game. I do think that for, say, the quarterfinals, I think we'll have some teams in there that we don't expect to see there. I think a team like Rhode Island could maybe make it in there, or a team like Davidson. But I think for the semifinals, it's going to be Dayton and St. Louis, and I think it'll be VCU and Duquesne in that matchup. And I think that I have Duquesne in the final game, but ultimately I think I have Dayton taking down St. Louis and then Duquesne to win the bid. So
you have Duquesne making the title?
Yep.
Why is that? You think they're making a run? You have who's VCU getting upset by?
VCU lose to Duquesne.
Oh, then Dayton beats SLU?
Yeah, Dayton plays SLU in the
semis.
But I mean, Duquesne, they're a team that can be a sparky little team. I mean,
you said they looked pretty bad when they played Dayton earlier, right?
I mean, it wasn't a blowout, but I mean, they looked pretty bad. They got Day Grant, pure scorer. I mean, They got Joe Ressa. He can score the
Yeah.
ball, but we'll see. I mean,
All right.
Yeah. I have VCU winning the regular season one. I think they're just a notch, kind of two up on Dayton as right now, but that doesn't really matter because who honestly cares unless your team wins the regular season tournament, if we're honest. So I think George Washington,
no.
I can't say it seriously. I think Dayton's gonna win the postseason conference tournament. I think that if they continue,
A healthy
yeah,
Dayton, a healthy
yes,
Dayton is the best
on
roster.
a healthy Dayton that is on fire is going to be too hard to stop
Mhm.
unless they meet the likes of George.
Why George Washington?
I don't know.
All right.
It's a joke.
Anyway, personally, I have VCU also winning the regular season. In the postseason, though, no, my gut wants me to say Dayton, but the under Anthony Grant, they have not really been a good postseason team, to say the least.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty mid.
I mean, they kind of got screwed over last year with the Malachi Smith injury against Richmond.
That
But,
was man, that was really bad.
I think that's what lost them their tournament bid. But
yeah,
overall, I think we're gonna see VCU win this tournament. I think VCU will come up and I just think they're a good team, and I think Ace Baldwin will be clutch. But if Ace Baldwin's not hitting, I think they're a fourth best team in the A10.
Now, Jack, in your opinion, do you think that if VCU ends up losing the regular season title, do you think there goes their momentum for the A10 title? Like, do you think? I mean, because they're a team.
Who wins the regular season at this point? Dayton, right? Or Dayton or Fordham?
It would be Dayton, but yeah, I mean,
Fordham and SLU are still only a game back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Why no thought into maybe Fordham for the postseason if they are on?
I just don't know if they're gonna have the depth
firepower
and the
firepower. I can see that. I do think.
Say Fordham wins out, they win these next 4 games. They finish the regular season 24-5. Don't win the conference. They lose the 1 game in the playoffs. Say they're 24-6. Are they an at-large team?
No, because their resume will not support it.
What about?
Let's analyze it here. Ladies and gentlemen. You beat Dart. I'm gonna go non-conference. The Arkansas lost by almost 40. I mean, you barely beat Harvard. You barely beat Maine. Tulane's not terrible. I just don't think that they have the Vermont. What is it? The Virginia Military Institution. They beat them by 3. I just don't think that they have the resume of a at-large bid with that non-conference schedule for Fordham.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think it's too poor.
Yeah. Anyway, we made our predictions. This will send us to a break. This is the A10 Talk podcast. Back to Gimme 10. We're having a great show so far on Spotify or either YouTube if you're streaming it. Thanks for watching so far. But anyway, now we'll be saying our A10 player of the week and our national player of the week. You can have the same one if you want for each thing. But Barrett, you go first. Nart, you go second. I'll go third.
So my A10 player of the week is probably a pretty obvious pick. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Playing amazing. And then my national player of the week, even though they lost today, it's Emmett Matthews Jr. from West Virginia. He's been playing really good lately. Their win over Iowa State, I believe he had 30 on great efficiency. They obviously lost by 34 today, but their last 2 wins, very good games from Emmitt Smith Jr. So, okay.
Art?
I'll let Jack here. I haven't decided.
Okay. My player of the week in the A10, like Barrett said, it's still obvious. He's carried. He's been awesome. It is Tamani Kamara. And then over in National. You guys might flame me for this, but his team has been just so hot lately. And I think, he's been a big part of that. And, this whole year he's been really, really good. But, this week, especially considering where they've been, my player of the week is actually Nigel Pack from Miami. He's a guy who's, he's averaged 12 this year, which is not bad. It's good. I mean, 12 is good production. But this week he stepped up and scored 21, and he's also scored 16. So I'm really happy, and I think he deserves this. 1 second.
Give me 10. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, I think it's pretty obvious who the A10 player of the week is. The man, the myth, the legend from Dayton, Kamara. He had a great game against VCU. I don't get why.
I like.
This guy can't say his name. He can't say Kamara.
I love how you say the myth, the legend, and you didn't even know his name for 5 minutes.
Kamara. All I know.
Who's your national player?
I know I'll go. It's Clowney something. Alabama. No, I'll go Marcus Carr.
Man, just forgot Brendan Miller's name. Okay.
No, I'll go Marcus Carr.
Why'd you pick Marcus Carr?
This is a good team. This is that or Keontae Johnson.
Oh, guys, we always love having laughs here at Gimme 10. Nart is always a good producer of those with some of his takes.
Guys, Kentucky's winning the national championship.
Shut up. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna take some time to group as we go to break. We have about 4 topics left. Should be a nice finish to the show. This is Gimme 10 on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome back to Gimme 10, either on YouTube or Spotify. Thanks for viewing. And we appreciate all the support here. Our goal is just to provide some good quality A10 basketball content along with national basketball content in the college basketball world. Jack, he's Nart, and there's
Jack,
Barrett.
did you know?
Anyway,
I do not let this rigor happen. Zach 80 at 8.
Anyway, here today we are looking to see, is there still hope for this Kentucky team that just looks disheveled after this loss to Georgia today? A Georgia team that's made a big step this year, but they're by no means a tournament team and definitely by no means a good team. I'm going to let Barrett and then Nart and me.
Yeah, so this Kentucky team, I mean, their roster's really talented. They're obviously still going to make the NCAA tournament this year, but I just don't know. I mean, they have a lot of good big men, and Jacob Toppin's been playing really well this year. And Severe Wheeler obviously is playing great this year. But when it comes down to it, I don't think if they can't compete with Georgia, they can't compete with Arkansas. I don't think they have a chance to win the title. But next year, I do have hope for them next year. Obviously, they still have Toshiboy this year. He's a player of the year candidate. But next year, they have about, I believe, 4 or 5 stars coming in. So they definitely got hope if Calipari can do something.
Nart?
They got Oscar Tshiebwe. They have Toppin, but they just don't really have the quality wins. They had the Tennessee win, but now I think we're all starting to question if Tennessee is a top 10 team in the nation. They've lost 3 out of their last, is it 6 or something like that? I know they've lost 2 straight. Let's pull up the non-conference here. They lost to Michigan State. I mean, they lost to Gonzaga, but I'll give them a break. That's Gonzaga. We know Gonzaga's going to make it. They only beat Michigan by 4 points. I mean, it's hard to tell. Do I think that they're probably going to get in because they're a blue blood team? And if they make it to probably like the quarterfinals or the semifinals of the SEC, probably. Do I think that they can make noise? Probably not. I think if Oscar Tshiebwe gets hot, they could win a game or two. But realistically, I think that they'll probably be a one and done in the tournament. But personally, I don't think that they're really deserving to be in. But I think that they will get in because I think there's an underlying kind of love for Kentucky and the Blue Bloods to get in. So
Well,
I think they'll get in, but I don't know if they're that deserving.
this year Kentucky really doesn't have depth. They just
Yeah.
have. They're gonna have to rely on Severe Wheeler, Toppin, and Oscar Tshiebwe. And if he gets in foul trouble, I mean they're in. I mean,
Well, I mean, even if he's not, sometimes he's inconsistent. I mean, this is a Kentucky team. You know, you look at them; they were really falling downwards, and then they had that good win, I believe, over was it over Tennessee? Yeah, that good win over Tennessee. 14th. And then it looked like, oh, their season's coming back. Kyle's got them back, and then they've just like totally fallen apart over the past few games. So I think they'll make the tournament probably. I don't know if they'll win a game in the tournament, but I think they definitely will make the tournament.
Jack, do you think I want to ask you a question. I just want to see if we're seeing eye to eye. From the difference of from being in, do you think they're deserving to be in?
No.
Okay.
I think you could easily say a team such as Dayton, VCU, Fordham is more deserving than them to be in. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could argue the SEC is a tougher conference, but I mean, I don't know if Kentucky would be winning all these games. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. Anything else on this topic, guys?
No.
No. I just it's a down year for Kentucky, and I don't think that they really have been at that level that they have been.
Yeah. Anyway, quick break here. This is Gimme 10 on Spotify. Here to Gimme 10 on YouTube or Spotify. So now we're going to talk about who we have as the best team in college basketball. Me, personally, I'll go first. Knock mine out. There's not much to say. Brandon Miller, Nate Oates, Charles Biatico, Alabama, best team. They're winning the national championship.
I respect that pick, but I'm going to have to go team out of left field here. I mean, UCLA looks really good, guys. A lot of experience. Maybe Mick Cronin can finally get on this year with the short man syndrome. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, I think to Barrett's credit, no one cares about the out west team, so I think that they're always all underlooked and underranked unless they're Gonzaga. So I think UCLA is a good team. Also Arizona. I'm gonna go with Barrett. I'm gonna go with Jack too. I think Nate Oates has done a tremendous job. They love to run in transition. They have Miller, Clowney. I think Alabama's the best team. I think I'm gonna disregard that Oklahoma loss because besides that, they have not played a bad game. And I was leaning towards Tennessee. Now I think they're just
Nart.
Yes.
So I'm hearing reports from someone, within the college basketball scene that is well respected, that you said you thought before the season started, that you said you thought the national championship was going to be Michigan State and Oklahoma.
I don't even know who's on Oklahoma's basketball team, Jack. I can't name you I can't even name you the head coach.
Is that right?
What?
Porter Moser.
It's Porter Moser.
Like,
okay. Yeah, but still, Jack, I don't even. What that is BS. Jack had Dayton playing Cincinnati in his championship.
That'll take us to a break.
Yep. This is Gimme 10 on Spotify and back
YouTube.
here to the Gimme 10 show, as now we'll be saying, let's put him back in here for this. Now we will be saying, do we think a team from the state of Michigan will be in the NCAA? Barrett, Nart, me. Barrett, you give your take.
I think there'll be two teams. I think Michigan State's going to make a run come late season. I think they're going to make a run in the tournament. I think Michigan State's going to make it in. I don't know if Michigan will make it in. We'll have to see what there's. I don't know if Michigan will make it in. So I'm going to go with my second team is Eastern Michigan. I think they're going to win their conference.
No. Okay, interesting. Nart, put that shit down and say your take.
It says Spartans will. I don't know if that was visible, but Michigan State will. Are they going to lose in the first round? Probably. Are they make the tournament? Yes. And I think Central Michigan also has a chance. I think those teams. I do not think Michigan's going to make it. Shawana Howard's a moron.
Wait, Central Michigan.
No, what conference is Central Michigan?
Are they in the Horizon League?
No, they're in the MAC.
Oh, same shit. It's too irrelevant basketball conference.
Anyway.
Okay, cut this.
Anyway,
Cut it.
for me, I think Michigan State will get the at-large bid. I don't think Michigan will, and I think Akron's going to win the MAC, so that will eliminate the rest of the teams in the state of Michigan. I got Michigan State winning it. Getting in.
Yeah, Michigan State winning it?
Getting in.
I'm not the only idiot on this podcast.
Michigan State's not winning crap. Anyway,
CR.
you guys got anything else to say here?
Nope. Yeah, Zach Edey is going to be the National Player of the Year, and UCLA is going to win the national championship.
That's it for Nart here, guys. Thanks for watching the A10 talk. Oh my God. Thanks for watching Gimme 10. Go check out our friends over at the A10 talk podcast and our
We want to
friends
be
Sully
you,
on
so we're going to
ESPN
rip you
Radio.
off.
Thanks for watching today. This has been Gimme 10, and looking forward to our episode next week. Please follow, download it,
Eagles,
download it if you're on Spotify. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow our Twitter because we'll be posting a lot of updates on there. Thanks for watching. This has been Nart, Barrett, and Jack from the Gimme 10 Talk Show. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.